Back to you.
Thank you, Howard. These days, in just about every workplace, it's do more with less. And the threat of layoffs hangs over workers' heads. And that's leading to more cases of desk rage at work. With tips on avoiding that, we're joined by David Wolf. He's the author of Relationships That Work, The Power of Conscious Living. Pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you, Andrew.
I was reading a survey that said 42% of workers say yelling, verbal abuse occur in the workforce. That seems like a pretty high number. Does that seem high to you?
Well, it's high. At the same time, it confirms my experience in personal and corporate coaching that hostilities and tensions are on the rise in the workplace.
But what's the difference between, workers who are upset with things at the workplace, frustrated, but then those who take it from frustration to rage and act out in a violent nature?
Well, that's when it crosses the line. It becomes emotional violence, or even in some cases, physical violence.
Mm-hmm. Why do people call you? What has happened at the job that they call you to help with the work situation, the workplace situation?
Well, they're in companies, businesses, or individuals, executives, at all levels of an organization. They want to improve the morale. They want to satisfy, because if they're in rage situations, then it's not a fun place to work. And so they want to diffuse these situations.
What do they see? I mean, I guess symptoms I'm asking for, that someone sees that says, we've got to take care of this, because if we don't now, there'll be more serious consequences, like we see the workplace rages where people take it out on their fellow workers, shooting them or whatever.
Yes, they see growing resentments and bitterness and hostilities. And one thing that I'll talk about is that a person who's angry wants to be heard, And so that's a great place to start. That even, or especially if we disagree, sometimes we might think the person's justified in their rage, sometimes we might think that they're not justified. But we suspend that, and a great way to show that we're hearing, there's a saying that people don't care what you know till they know that you care. And an effective way to show that we care is to mirror back what we heard someone say and the feeling behind it. So, for example, let's say our supervisor is angry because he wanted the reports on his desk by noon, and it's 3 o'clock, they're not there. So instead of immediately justifying or arguing, we say, I can see you're upset with me, I can see you're angry with me because you wanted the reports on your desk by noon. And that can be a great way to diffuse growing anger.
Does that really work? I mean, that boss, supervisor, is still mad. Somebody's probably coming down on him saying, I want these reports. How do we make sure that we create this situation of understanding and talking with the person we're having the problems with?
Yes, and this is a powerful method to begin to create an environment of dialogue, an environment of real communication. Just understanding can be like life air. Like if we get the wind knocked out of us, all we want is air. And at that time, a pile of money or our favorite meal won't mean anything. Similarly, sometimes when we're getting enraged, good advice or an astute analysis won't help. We just want to be understood. Not that it will immediately take care of all the problems, but it goes a long way to create an environment of real conversation and dialogue.
In most workplaces, we have about 30 seconds, there isn't anyone who's been taught that these are the ways to deal with those coping skills. How do we solve the problem if we don't know who to turn to? Is it the human resources person who should have a better understanding on how to deal with this?
Well, I say everyone at all levels and all sectors of the organization should develop some mastery in these strategies and skills.
Sounds like we all need to go back to the drawing board, have a good retreat, and talk it out.
That would help.
Might help.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, the book is called Relationships That Work, The Power of Conscious Living. David Wolf, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Andre.
There's a push to drop the